But there's a spreadsheet, and it has all of the player interactions, or at least a lot of them, for the tournament. So let's say you're like, all right, Fudo plays Chris T first round. Has Fudo played against Chris T this year? You can scroll through this and see if he's played against whoever, right? You're like, oh yeah, Fudo has to play Shanghai second round maybe. Has he played Shanghai? What's the record? And who got the W? So this is a nice little way to cross-reference many of the matches that have happened this year. You're like, all right, when has Fudo played against Cammy this year, and how does he done? Well, he beat Mago's Cammy here. You know, he beat him again here. All right, that's good to know. He lost to Verloren, and he beat NL, and then he lost to him twice. Man, he's like really back and forth about Cammy. All right. Yeah, he does have a lot of matches against Cammy. It cracks me up. The longer you scroll down, the more you realize he played against a bunch of Cammys. And then, you know, you want to know Daigo's record against everybody. You're like, all right, what's Daigo's record against whoever? And you can, like, scroll through here. No, I wouldn't, like, print this out and put it in front of me at Capcom Cup. Although the information is good, the thing is, like, it's more important to talk about, oh, look at this. I'm drawing on the screen. God damn you, whiteboard. I tried to grab my camera and move it. The thing is that, what's it called? That kind of information is good, but it's more important to talk about usually the people at the time and the matchups. That's really great for brackets and also just referencing, like, what are the chances against most people. I think that's particularly useful. Whoops, I snapped my camera too far. I'm over here, like, showing them in my head. It's particularly useful if you haven't seen much of if you didn't watch a lot of CPT and you're like, how are all these people doing? It's like a good way to catch up and see, like, how everything's looking. I think that's a really great idea. We don't have a lot of stats like that in fighting games. In other esports broadcasts, you see it, like, kind of often. In sports, it's like they have so many, but sometimes the sports stats are so bad, right? You'll be watching it and be like, well, in the third quarter, he usually always scratches his left knee at 40 seconds. I'm like, I don't give a shit about this, right? Like, none of that is particularly interesting. What's it called? For anything. Yeah, there's always one guy who's, like, got to read on the mic and be, like, the guy that's like, yeah, this is all the boring stat stuff. And it's just, I don't know. I never find it that entertaining. Anyway, LCQ bracket. So we'll look through the LCQ brackets a little bit today. We're not going to spend forever on this. This is bracket 1. A1. There's a lot of different, pools here. I think there's 16 pools. That looks about right to me. Yeah, A1 through 8, B1 through 8. How many people registered? I believe this attendee is how many people registered. So 229 for registration. We're just going to look through them, kind of glance through the LCQ brackets, see who stands out for us. Obviously, when we go to, like, the top 48, if you use the projected, based on seeding, it'll tell you who will make it, which is not always accurate, right? Like, it's just based on, like, whoever's seeded higher or whatever. Smash GG just does it. But it could give us an example of some of the matches we might have, right? So we'll probably use that when we're thinking about the brackets. So this one, I haven't seen K-Brad play this game in forever. I feel like he's a Marvel 3 player now. I haven't seen him play in so long. Zumi's really solid, actually. He's a really solid player. I think he might surprise some people. Toy is in this bracket. Piano Densetsu versus Arlieth first round. Some people were saying Jones Arcade is not coming anymore. Zumi is a jury player, yeah. Very, very good jury player. To be honest, I think Jury she's a pretty solid character. She's a pretty solid character. I think she's good this season. There's a few high-level Japanese, like, online players in particular, like, they're high-ranked online that are in this bracket that are really good. So probably one of these two is the favorite to make it out of this bracket, I would guess. Since I haven't seen K-Brad play very much lately. A2. Mono. Oh, man, that would be sick if he does well. Wow, Brian F. and Valiant together are in the same. They have to play each other with Mono right here on this side. Nari-kun. Oh, shit. Nari-kun and LV. Oh, my God. And Hobby's in here, too. This is a really tough. This pool is really hard. I don't know who's the favorite in this bracket, right? Mono isn't coming. All right, so him not coming helps a little bit, right? So what we have, the favorite is maybe LPN, Nari-kun, Brian F, Valiant. What does projected think? Yeah, probably Nari-kun is maybe the favorite. I don't even know, actually. That's hard to call. That's a pretty. And then, like, the winner has to make it out and play the winner of that toy pool, right? Smug. I forgot Smug's not qualified yet, right? He was pretty close, but he wasn't quite there. So Smug's in this bracket with Strider. They're on the same side with Romance down here. Romance is pretty solid, and he plays Minot, so there's always that, like, you know, you might just never get in. Unfortunately, though, if he runs into Strider, Strider's playing G. That's a little tough. Jammers is coming? Tight. I didn't know Jammers was coming. Terrence isn't coming anymore? Oh, that's too bad. Well, I know Terrence qualified for the Geico finals, right? Man, that'd be funny if Terrence and Jammers first round. Cherry is over here with Vanau. Ooh. Vanau is a scary man. Vanau is one of those players that, like, is so wild that you never know what the fuck's gonna happen, right? Smug's probably the favorite in this bracket, though, but he's got to make it past this little minefield right here. Vanau is real solid, though. Well, he can beat you. I guess solid isn't the right word. Yeah, Vanau is famous for being a third strike player, but he used to play... You might have seen some of his famous, like, Balrog clips in Street Fighter V. He's a pretty wild guy, especially last season when that character was wild. Ryusei, I think if I was gonna guess based on anybody to win the LCQ, my first guess would be Ryusei. That would be like my off the top of my head kind of guess. But he's in the same pool with Prototype, Nick Tanella, Psycho Moss, and then on the other side you have Danka Diaz, Yoshi. Oh my god. Yoshi Danka Diaz on this side, right? So you guys probably remember one of the furthest placing players in the LCQ last year should have beaten Nemo, barring like a combo drop that he had there. So it's going to be on the other side with Danka Diaz against Ryusei. What is it, 9th place at EVO this year with Urian. Really solid Japanese player. He's a BlazBlue EVO champion. And he's one of those players that I think has a pretty high chance to take the LCQ. Gamer B. Was Gamer B like the first person that wasn't qualified in terms of points or something? He was up there, right? He was pretty close to near the top. I remember him being up there with like Smug and stuff. All right, Jobin's in this bracket with Valle, Gamer B on this side. Ooh, that's an old man bracket on this side. Flaquito from Southern California, El Chicote. Is he still coming? It seems like some people are backing out, but I hope that he still makes it. And Lilo, oh my god. This is a tough pool. Vi is one of those players that, you know, he really, these days he doesn't like play to like be the best player in the world or anything anymore, but he can still beat like anybody, right? He's like one of those players. He just shows up as like a minefield kind of guy, right? Yeah, Lilo's really good. I didn't realize that he was F3. DR ROG player, yeah. The DR ROG. Myers, he's probably one of the other favorites in this bracket. Princess Slim, Raikatsu, and Classico first round. Up against Chris CCH. Yeah, I forgot he was brought out by Amakashi in this for this event. And then Daikokugo. Yeah, this is a pretty tough pool too. I imagine finals is supposed to be Chris versus Alex Myers. Daikokugo could be Chris CCH, but character matchup is a little tough. And Chris CCH has been playing really well lately, so we'll see. Yeah, it seems like some people signed up just in case. Momi. Johnny's pretty solid, and so is Pinoy and Urban Flow, actually. Johnny is one of Momochi's students, right? Mojo is confirmed not going? Okay. Johnny is one of Momochi's students. Is very good. Super solid. This is definitely a player that you're going to have to watch out for. But Pinoy is like, yeah, he can definitely do it. He's one of those players that I wouldn't be that surprised. DR Mandrake, man, we have a really international bracket here. I forgot how many players are traveling from all over the place to try to do it, right? This is a tough bracket too. A8. All right. Moke. Yeah, I forgot he was coming here. He's not trying to get the last Dragon Ball spot, right? He's been playing a lot of that game lately, but I showed that picture earlier of all the Japanese players practicing for this event. So he's going to be in here. We got Bushin with Ricky, Peru. I haven't seen Peru play in a while. Arakiba, Didimo Koff. Didimo Koff is in this pool. Okay. Does every DR player put DR in their tagline? They should. It's like every Filipino player has Filipino in their name. Like Pinoy, Filipino man, Filipino champ. They all have to put it in there. They got to represent. Yeah, Moke is interesting. I haven't seen Moke play in a little while. I haven't seen him play Street Fighter in a little while, I should say. He's been playing a lot of Dragon Ball, right? So I'm surprised that he's not going to the last Dragon Ball spot. But to be fair, Kazunoko's going to that. And I feel like if I had to take the Street Fighter field at the LCQ or Kazunoko at Australia, I might do what Moke did too. B1. Where's Dogura? There he is. All right, Dogura's here. Louis Man's in his pool with Commander Jesse and Arturo. Oh, man. Louis-Mon, Commander Jesse, and Arturo in this pool with Eli the Curry down on there. Disciple of Dropkick. Who's the Disciple of Dropkick player? Is this the player that I met, or is this like just whoever they're putting in that day? Because I met the Disciple of Dropkick. Jesse and Arturo and Louis-Mon in the same pool with Dogura. Yeesh. The birdie from SoCal? Yeah, I'm familiar. Okay, it is the birdie. I didn't really, you know what, it's like, you know that in here they had the player that was like, Winner Stays On champion. There was like a player named that. I didn't know if it was something like that. Yeah, this is a hard pool too. All these seem pretty like balancedly hard. We haven't seen very many pools that are like, oh yeah, that one, that's no problem. Shine in this one with Yanoob. Yanoob is real solid. A lot of people might not be as familiar with him, but he's a really capable Menat player. So you never know. With Brutus in here, who I'm sure he still wants me to think Itabashi is going to win and not go into or something. Pugera, Corey Bell, Tasty Blue. Oh, man. Mojo not going, we figured out, though, right? So Nyanchi is going to play Shine and then be on the same side with Yanoob and Brutus, probably. Sorry, Jabril. And this is probably the other side here. I don't even know, actually. With no Mojo, I think it kind of opens up this side a little bit, right? You miss Pugera, him playing Ibuki in Street Fighter 4? It's been a while. He plays Ibuki now in this game, but I thought for a long time he was a Balrog player. Doom Snake. Eric C's in this pool. Nice. All right, with Lex. Neon's in this bracket. Otani, Fudo Otani, Blarlad. Ooh, man. This is one of those pools where, like, the unspeakable could happen, right? You could just be hit by some player you're not familiar with, you don't know who they play, and all of a sudden you're like, oh boy, this could happen, man. I'm telling you, this is one of those pools where I could just see an unexpected outcome happening. Never bet against real solid Abigail players, man. They could always do it. MOV, I think a lot of people want him to win the LCQ. A lot of people are MOV fans, right? A lot of people like this guy. So MOV doing well, I think would be cool. Lud is in this bracket. Oh, man. Danny Pham, if only your character was good. Snake Eyes, Bolt Strike is real solid. And Magnegro, who was in the chat earlier. What up? All right. Yeah, this is not an easy bracket either. Good old Dragon Eyes. What is this, his third tournament this year? I haven't seen him like all year. But yeah, Bolt Strike is really good too. Bolt Strike. This is a tough bracket. Abigail's a great character. But I'm talking about Geef. You know, I keep going down. I keep thinking we're going to run into a bracket where that's not that bad pretty soon. Oh, man. Johnny Tack could play Rotten Seagull first round. Zaf is on his side of the bracket with OG, Yon, and Marn. Rob TV on this side. Rob TV always beats somebody good in every tournament, by the way. He always beats somebody good in every tournament. It doesn't matter where he is. He always does it. With DRA, who's Capcom Cup qualified the first year, right? In case you guys forgot. Mira down. This could be one of those brackets, too, where you don't expect the unexpected, right? I think this pool is still pretty hard. Rob TV has beaten John before, I'm pretty sure. I think that's one of the players that he's beaten before. So Rob could definitely do it. And John is one of the highest CPT points player. Like, of all the players that didn't qualify through CPT points, he's definitely one of them. Marn. Yeah, I mean, Marn's not really playing that much anymore. Kami Guilty. Mizuha in this bracket with Salty Kid up here. Salty Kid's still coming. I feel like somebody said he might not be coming. JB in this bracket as well. Ooh. Mizuha and JB are probably going to be fighting here on this side, I would guess. Not to count out Dual Kevin. This one's pretty tough. Who does Dual Kevin play? He's a Hawkeye player. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it too much. But I am worried about thanking Dead Mango. Thanks very much for the Twitch Prime. All right. John Rod could play Cool Kid first round. Sure. Or, yeah, I guess actually, I don't know how that match will go. Chris G, cool kid, same side of the bracket, so they'll probably meet right here. Onmon is real solid. Onmon's very good. Cereblast and F word up against Mad King Cam first. You might lose to Mad King. I will be honest with F word. He might get surprised by Mad King. First round, oh no. Onmon is a very good Urian player. If F word wins the LCQ, he has to get a commentary spot. That's how it has to work. I can't believe he's not commentating. It's crazy. F word is so good. Is the whole LCQ first to 2? I think it's first to 2 until the top 8, which is the usual CPT style. But I think the top 32 is all 3 out of 5. Is it the... Oh, it is a different... Mad King, you're right, I think. I think you're right, Curly. Never mind. Yeah, F-word's fine. Kyle P in this bracket with Samurai. Sunao, okay. You know what I didn't realize, by the way, is that Happenstance is a coffee company. By the way, every time I looked at this name, I was like, what the hell does Happenstance mean? Is this just something about fighting games? Anyway, I think the big story about this bracket is Samurai on this side. This side is a little wild looking, right? Obviously, Cranmore versus the winner of Velociraptor PR Balrog could happen. Cranmore's a solid Manat, right? He could do it. That's the thing. You never know about this side of the bracket. But the big issue here is ZJZ. ZJZ, you guys might remember him from, what was it, Tokyo Game Show this year? Incredibly good player. He's a KOF player, for those of you guys who are unfamiliar. Very good. Very good player. And, yeah, him versus Samurai is going to be interesting. Samurai does have a lot of Manat practice. He's played with a lot of really solid Manat players, but ZJZ is damn good. ZJZ is damn good. I don't think you can count this guy out. Double Jeopardy problem at Simi. Double Jeopardy Bonchan at TGS as well. Yeah, he beat Xiaohai at KOF at EVO Japan, right? I was there. I remember watching that, actually, when that was happening live. That was a sick match. KOF is always good internationally, right? ZJZ is a Manat player. He's very, 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 very solid. Who does this have winning here? Interesting, okay. That makes sense. So we get into the top 48, and we mentioned it. Projected is not accurate, right? Projected is just based on the seeding generally. But just to give you an example of an idea of some of the matches you could have, right? Like, so Samurai could be ZJZ or something. Like, a lot of these could be different people. But just in potential, it's not unlikely that we see, like, yeah, Toy versus Smugger Ryusei right out of pools. Yeesh. Gamerby Myers, they'd have to run into each other very early. Two of the stronger Kami players that we have in the LCQ. Momi versus Moke. This could be Myers or Gamerby or Momi or Moke. That's rough. Dogra versus Shine. But Shine had a pretty tough pool, right? It might not be that easy for him to make it out. Up against potential Doomsnake. Doomsnake was very close to just being auto-qualified, right? Because of the cross situation. MOV in the bracket. I hope MOV does well. Little Johnny Tack. One of the highest overall in CPT points this year that didn't qualify. He's like one of the first players that didn't qualify. Cool kid down here with Samurai. Potential ZJZ moving up. So yeah, I mean, this is like the kind of top 8 we could expect, right? Dogra versus Johnny Tack. We'll see how Dogra's playing this weekend. They have ZJZ down here at least. I'd be very surprised if ZJZ doesn't make it to top 8. I'd be very surprised if he doesn't make it to top 8. ZJZ is hella good. He's one of those players that, like, you can just tell his fighting game abilities transfer over so well. Chun, yeah, Chun's not that great in this season. Chun is just, she's just like acceptably average. She has to hit you a lot. Her ground game is like pretty good. She doesn't really have like any crazy mix-ups that like make you like, oh, how can I beat this character? She's just all right. Like, if you play very, very solid, you can win with her. Bring back season 1 Chun-Li? Hell no. Hell no. Momi isn't going now? What the Look at all this hard work that went into seeding just for everybody to back out. Anyway, I think that the players that you see, this LCQ is in one of those states where when you look at all the players up here, And probably anybody that makes it this far, any of these players would have a chance to win the entire tournament if they're coming. My favorites, like the way I'm feeling, is my favorites are probably Ryusei. I think Ryusei has a good chance. It would kind of be justice for John Takeuchi or GamerB to make it after they, or Smug after they have so many CPT points this year. I think ZJZ will make it very far as well. Asian bias? Yes, I'm extremely Asian. That's why I have Asian bias. You can see it on my face. It has nothing to do with them being skilled fighting game players. It is instead because of my natural Asian genes that makes me biased towards Asian players. You motherfucks. When season 1, I was like, you know, I think the US will win. Everybody was like, you are biased to the US. In season 2, I'm like, you know, I think MENA's going to win. But there's going to be like 5 Japanese players in top 8. Everybody was like, nah, man. Blah, 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 this and that and that. MENA wins. This year, I'm like, a Japanese player is going to win the tournament. Like, you're biased for the Japanese players? You ever consider that I just look at the video game and whoever's good is who I think is good? Yeah, Dogra and MOV, they don't have a bad chance either. Doomsnake was very close to qualifying already. There's a lot of the players that are almost qualified, I think basically will have a good chance. Samurai does have I wouldn't call it a sleeper chance, but his path is not that easy, I don't think. I don't think his path is like super easy, mostly because before this he has to play ZJZ in pools as well. That's tough. Yeah, Brian F is in one of the pools up here. I think he's in Smug's pool. No, he's in the Mono pool. How many camis in top 8 do I reasonably predict? Of the LCQ or the finals? I think the finals won't have that many camis. There's some weird phenomenon in fighting games where like when characters are complained about, in Street Fighter in particular, it seems like. Remember when Elena was supposed to dominate Capcom Cup the first year? Or the final year? And we saw like, what was it, 1? Or none actually, maybe in Capcom Cup. In EVO, we had like GamerB and Infiltration, right? In the last year? Is that it? No, I don't even think Infil played any Elena, did he? Remember when Chun was the best character in season 1, but the bitch didn't win much? She definitely won. What do you mean? Chun-Li was definitely winning stuff in season 1. She wasn't winning everything. It's not like she was winning all kinds of tournaments, but she did fine in season 1. There was a lot of Chun-Li players in season 1. Yeah, so as far as the LCQ goes, it's hard to predict. Who's your guys' prediction, chat room? Who's your prediction for the winner? I'm curious if there's like a consensus that people have about who they think is gonna win. The BB champs, or Ryusei, J-Tac, Neon. I've seen a couple of Neons. ZJZ, J-Tac, Smug, Nari-kun, Cool Kid, Smug, Otani, Cool. Yeah, it's pretty split up. You guys are pretty split up, huh? It seems like there's like maybe 10 or so players that have like a really high chance. F-word? 2 F-words? Last year it was Nemo, right? Last year it was Nemo. And I think a lot of people thought that he might have been the favorite heading into it. This year, I'm not sure who I would reasonably call the favorite. It's kind of hard. There's a few people I would think would be near favorites, but a lot of them have to play early. If another Urian wins LCQ, I'm going to lose it. Yeah. A lot of people are MOV fans. Yeah, he was pretty close. He was, I feel like he's always pretty close to like being in Capcom Cup or being qualified for the big one or making top 8 at EVO. Like whatever it is, I feel like every year he gets so close and then loses. Chun-Li is not the best character in the world in this version, so. We have 1 Urian in Capcom Cup currently. Well, if you guys want to root for Urians, there's Dogra and there's Ryusei and there's Onmon as well, who he has a pretty good chance to do well in this tournament.